Welcome to the Mapes IDV collection. I'm Brian Mapes. Let's learn to install the Mapes IDV collection. If you web search Mapes IDV, you'll get this. To install the Mapes IDV collection, follow the directions you'll find in the top web search return. You just need to move two small text files, these, into the .unidata/idv/default-idv folder in your home directory. If you've ever launched the IDV once, like when you installed it, this folder will exist. Moving the files in there does nothing initially. You have to relaunch the IDV to see the effects. After you relaunch, you'll see a few additions. The most obvious is the Mapes IDV collection Favorites folder here in your toolbar. I also included another folder from Don Murray at NOAA's PSD lab. Don was an original inventor of the IDV, so his bundles are great. Now he mostly works on other stuff. These folders are refreshed at launch time from my website at that moment, and then they remain fixed during your IDV session. In the Mapes IDV folder, you have two main categories. Number one, accessing online data servers. These are the XIDV bundles, code only, and results depend on those servers being operative, so it might fail during government shutdowns or other server interruptions. Number two is case studies with zipped-in data. Of course, these also depend on the zipped file coming from my University of Miami server, but if you're seeing the Mapes IDV collection at all, that server is up and running. Notes reminds you that the collection is viewable on the web, too. Here's a link shortener, since the actual web address is complicated. This was the second hit from Google, or you can type that link shortener and get there. Here you find the same Mapes IDV collection folders you see in your toolbar, but here you see that the bundles contain thumbnail images, previews. Click an image to see it bigger. You can download the ZIDV bundles from here using a browser and explore them offline on your computer. I do this for demos and training, to be sure nothing goes wrong with the internet during my demos. Once you have the ZIDV on your local disk, loading it up goes a lot faster than when you count on a remote server communications over the internet to load it in real time. Current weather loops obviously rely on online servers, mostly at Unidata in Boulder. Those are pretty reliable, but they can get busy at times. They're working on mirroring approaches now, if this becomes more popular. But this brings up an important point. Although the IDV is pretty nimble once the data are loaded, it's never a good use of your time to watch it load. It's like watching your pot while it boils for your noodles. Get used to the idea that after you start a loading process, you should go stretch your legs and just come back when it's done. The ability to walk away while lots of stuff happens is another advantage about using my collection of pre-built IDV bundles, instead of trying to use the IDV to build what you want from scratch every time. Even when you do want to add your own displays, you don't need to start from scratch. Templates at one time level are a good starting place. All the data sets will be attached, and it's easy to trash can the displays you don't want and add your own. You might also like to add a new data set to the mix quickly. Here's a list of some favorites of mine in the folder of favorites. These are all long time aggregations, so you can just attach them, then work with the time driver like we saw earlier to get different dates or longer time loops. Some other data sets don't work that way, unfortunately, but I'm trying to make people aggregate their data sets. The next screencast will teach you how to add a display to one of my templates.